Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I want to share with you guys my top 5 most carried knives over the last, it's been like a month and a half, I think. This is going to be a weird list, since there are a few knives that really have consistently dominated my pockets. And I mean, like, every other time I put a knife in my pocket, it's one of these. I thought, let's mix it up a little bit and showcase the 5 I've carried outside of some of these other ones that I just can't stop carrying. And those knives, of course, like everybody knows, I carry my own Excalibur knife. I mean, I just do, but I'm not going to make that part of the list every single time. I designed that, right? And I'm also swapping back and forth between the Demco Shark Cub in the sort of tank gray-green and the black, and then also, of course, the Spyderco Sage 6 with the button-operated compression lock. Everybody knows those are the ones that I carry, but what about the 5 outside of that? Made for a pretty weird list. So I'll link everything down in the description. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Make sure your notifications are on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. Starting off here with number 5. This one was a bit of a surprise, but when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, that made it into my pocket probably about 5 days, right? It's obviously not the most carried over the last month and a half, but the Miguron Norsa made it into my pocket. If you watch this channel, you know I've got a thing for a really good budget knife. Won't stop me from putting these types of knives in my pocket, even though I've got super expensive, nice knives to carry. The Norsa is truly incredible with the aluminum frame. In this case, we have the PVD-coated 14C28N, really nice profile, fully ambidextrous, all of that. And of course, the quality is just off the charts for $29. That just really feels amazing to me. This isn't, like, in terms of the design, it's not special. I have 500 knives in this room that are more interesting in terms of design than this. What makes this fun to carry, and what makes it interesting to carry for me, is the fact that it is so ridiculously inexpensive for the quality. This is one of the highest rated, I mean, in terms of this channel, it's one of the highest rated ultra budget knives, or budget knives being knives that were under $30, are under $30. Yeah, it's really, truly incredible. I have very few things to compare with, and that just made me want to carry it. It really made me want to appreciate it more and just give it a little love. Not a ton. It made it into my pocket for, like I said, about 5 days. But that technically does put it in the number 5 spot. This is a ridiculously recommendable knife, very affordable. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more sub $30 knives from Miguron over the next few months and years. Number 4, and this is a fun one. I am currently EDCing very carefully the Winterblade Co. Darkfire OTF, which, if you don't know, is intentionally modeled after the Darksaber from The Mandalorian, or, you know, the Star Wars universe. I have 2 of these. I have this one, and I have this one. These are both mine. He's going to let me keep these, which is pretty cool. So one of them obviously has to be an EDC. Now, I'll admit to you guys, this rides in my pocket far more than it does actually get used. It has been used incredibly lightly for really nothing else than just opening a couple of packages, which it's obviously more than capable of doing. Watching or reading the comments in the YouTube shorts for this knife has been so interesting. Everybody takes a look at this, they watch me operate it, and automatically it's sort of a knee-jerk reaction. They assume all of these things about safety and how the knife's not safe, and when you put it in your pocket and pull it out, it's going to deploy. I actually made a YouTube short about this, and I talk about how, number 1, it's not a simple loose forward and backward switch where you can accidentally apply pressure and it just deploys. No, tension is actually keeping that switch held down, so you have to overcome that tension, just like on a Microtech OTF, right, with the sliding switches. So no, that's not going to happen. And furthermore, the way that this part of the switch, which is the part required to deploy the blade, the way that that sits in your pocket, it's not actually the part that comes in contact with the back seam. I think a lot of people in their minds think that this is the part that's coming in contact with the back seam, so that when you pull it out, it's going to accidentally deploy. No, as I showed in that video, that's not what happens. And even if you somehow manage to snag it on the front of your pocket, which is an incredibly awkward and difficult way to pull the knife from your pants, it still won't deploy. So I don't know where people are getting that. There must be some sort of collective thought process that people are just sort of automatically assuming about this thing where that's going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's Brian Winters. Do you think over the 2 or 3 years of development that this knife went through, you think he was like, whatever. No. Also, super nice machining. It does look like a toy, absolutely, but it's incredibly nice machining on aluminum. Not once has this thing failed. Not once. I didn't have to add rem oil or anything like that. I have probably cycled this thing, I don't know, 600 times. It fires just as hard as any of my full-size Microtechs, and we have a full DLC M390 blade. It is sharp out here. The only real issue as far as like being utilitarian, I think a lot of people talk about ergonomic comfort, right? It's not the best ergonomic knife that I've ever felt, but it's far from bad. Far from bad. I actually really enjoy this. You kind of have to put your index finger in front here to, kind of get, if you want to cut through cardboard, you kind of have to hold it like this. And it's mildly kind of like, if that wasn't there, it'd be a little more comfortable, right? But it's not uncomfortable, definitely. Holding it down here doesn't feel as good because it's a little awkward to get underneath this tab. And, people ask, like, why would he design something that is obviously hindering the user, in terms of utility? And the reason is because it was designed to look like the Darksaber. He didn't sit down and go, today I think I'll make the most utilitarian OTF that anyone has ever handled. The most comfortable, yes. And then he gets to work and, 2.5 years later, he goes, oh, dang it! I accidentally made this! Oh, God, what was I thinking? No, come on. It's so simple. He's having fun. Love the firing power. Incredibly minimal blade play. Edge, obviously, like, everything is done to perfection here. This is a knife that will be talked about all the way up to when you can actually get your hands on these, which will not be until March or April of 2026. If, his words, if everything all goes to plan. If this is something that you are interested in picking up at that point, 2 things you need to know. Number 1, it's going to be very, very expensive. That's just what it's going to be. Number 2, they're all going to sell out about like lightning fast. And that it doesn't matter if I cover it or not. He already had tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people watching his Instagram reels on this thing. There were plenty of people who were aware of it, and that's just going to be the case. So you'll definitely want to follow him and kind of keep updated on this all the way up until it drops, but it'll be on the Winter Blade Co. website. So anyways, moving on here to number 3, and that's going to be the Civivi Guile. There are 2 reasons why I keep putting this knife back in my pocket. Number 1, I really like the color. Green, and in this case, it's kind of like a fluorescent green. This is about a $64 knife, by the way. I find this color very, very appealing. We don't see it nearly as much as we see a lot of the more dulled colors, in the knife world. And it's also incredibly easy to find. A lot of the knives that I carry blend into my living room so well, and it scares me because I've got a little one. I have 3, but one of them is a little one. And I don't like the idea of accidentally leaving knives around the house. So I'm really, really particular about this, really careful about it. But I feel a lot more comfortable carrying this one around because of the color. Now, this isn't the only color that it comes in, but I just really like it. This color really, really is like obvious to me in our living room. So I like that. Number 2, I'm just going to be really honest here. Besides the obvious utility, it's got good ergonomics, it's got a good choke up position. This is a good knife, right? Sean Ashmore designed this. It's just cool. Like, I'm not even going to pretend for a second that I'm not like, ooh, celebrity designed this knife. I just kind of, I think that's cool. That's why I'm putting it in my pocket. I just enjoy that. So, not only is it easy to see, and it's an enjoyable color for me, and a legitimately good design. I reviewed this, got a great review. It's just a good, elongated sort of thin Wharncliffe blade. Great materials, all of that. It's just cool. Sean Ashmore designed this. It's just really cool. Moving on here to number 2. This is a weird one. I put my Microtech Scarab 2 back in the knife case and then reached the next day to grab it again because I was carrying that knife a lot. This was a while back. And what I pulled out was the Combat Troodon, the one that I carried and used for a long time. And I thought, oh yeah, I forgot I own like 3 of these things. Because the other 2 are Signature Series. And I was like, I wonder why I stopped carrying that one. So I'd started to carry this one, and I don't know which I like more. I have different OTFs that I EDC, but I really love carrying my Scarab 2. I love that knife. It's a big old thick, chunky OTF, but I also really like carrying this one. And as much as I dislike these clips with balls in them from past knives that I've just had terrible experiences with, this is a much larger ball, and it slips in and out of my pocket a lot easier. So I think I actually prefer this pocket clip over the Scarab 2 clip, and it also carries a lot more compact. This version also has the new Easy Switch, and like my Winter Blade Co. Darkfire and my Scarab 2, the blade has never failed to deploy. This is also a double-edged OTF, whereas my Scarab is a single-edged OTF. So I've just been enjoying this. I found that I do reach for it quite a bit. It's very enjoyable. The Combat Troodon is an expensive knife. It's a US-made OTF, very, very high quality. Definitely superior to, I would say, most OTFs on the market. I will tell you, if you want like specifically the difference between like quality in a Microtech OTF and the Darkfire, not only is the firing speed and power identical, but the overall quality between the two, and I know people are, but it looks like a toy. The overall quality is bare minimum the same. The Darkfire actually feels like a superior product in hand. But Microtech, if there's, it might be that I'm biased because I just really like this, so I want to throw that out there. But in terms of the overall manufacturing quality and the feeling in hand and the firing power, speed, all of that, even like your lockout, that one's pretty tight. That might have less blade play. This one makes less noise when it deploys. This is a little bit louder, and it's probably because the internal chassis on the Darkfire is completely unique. Nobody's ever seen the inside. I haven't taken this apart. Nobody's seen the inside of this except for Brian Winters. Maybe he's got an explosion diagram up. Maybe plenty of people have seen it, but it is completely and totally different than Microtech and other OTFs on the market. But as far as the quality between the two, they're at the very least identical. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. But I do really enjoy carrying this. I think as time progresses, I'm going to start carrying this more than this guy because I feel like, I've got it. I'm one of the only people who has it. I should be carrying it, right? I'm kind of doing the thing an injustice by not carrying it. So yeah, and I also want to get a realistic feel for it, for when it comes time to review it. But anyways, really like this one. These are all over the place. You can buy them pretty easily. They're just super duper expensive, but definitely really good. And outside of the 3 that I mentioned at the beginning, the #1 most carried knife out of anything over the last month and a half, easily, the Flitanium Arcade. #1, love the color. It's not quite as fluorescent as this one, but it is definitely bright. It's kind of an emerald green. I also like that it's polycarbonate, so you can see through it. But this is the Shark Lock that I wanted the original Arcade to be. And the reason that the original Arcade doesn't make it into my pocket very much is because the edges of the handle are kind of sharp. I felt like the Demco Shark Cub did it better, and that's why I was carrying, like for my Shark Lock knife, after I had this one, because this one was the most carried Shark Lock knife that I owned until I got the Shark Cub. This just beat out the Arcade, much like the 20.5, because the Arcade just wasn't that comfortable. And I was like, man, that's too bad, because I actually really like the profile of the Arcade better. Well, here comes this guy, the Arcade Lite. I think I just called it the Arcade. It's the Arcade Lite. And the scales are knocked down substantially better. They're not sharp at the edge. So that's great. The only thing that I don't love, it's not that big of a deal, but I don't love that we've got AUS 10A, considering this is a $100 knife. However, the joy and the utility that this brings to my, day-to-day life, is just, it's so much that I really almost just don't care about the steel. It's awesome. It's bigger than the Shark Cub without feeling like I'm carrying that much more because the thing is so lightweight. It just operates flawlessly. And these are made in Taiwan. They're not made in China. It's just really great. The pocket clip is also wonderful. And of course, the lock strength is just off the charts being a Demco Shark Lock. So that is it. Those are my top 5 most carried knives, and I will probably do this way moving forward. When there are certain knives, like the 3 at the beginning, I mentioned these 3 right here. When these knives just absolutely like dominate, outside of other stuff I'm reaching for, and outside of the other stuff that I'm constantly reviewing and in and out of the pocket, to keep up with the channel, I still want to talk about the knives that I'm carrying outside of those, right? So that's kind of how we do this. You let me know what you think of that, right? We have the Flitanium Arcade. We have the Microtech Combat Troodon. We have the Civivi Guile. We have the Winterblade Co. Darkfire. And we have the Miguron. I forgot the name of this one, but I said it at the beginning, and it'll be linked down in the description. What a weird lineup. Okay, that's going to be it today, guys. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.